fa sol la ti do do. Was that right? Is that a good? Did you know I went to Berkeley? I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I got my degree. I'm just, Anyways, hi. Welcome to Talks with T. This is the first time I actually hit that do re mi. I'm dancing now. Anyways, welcome to my podcast. I know that you guys are probably disappointed because Carson has been with me for a while and it's just me now. But don't worry, he's not far. He's behind the camera. Speak. You're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me on camera. Anyways, so I like to switch it up though, because like last week especially, like me and Carson really went through it. I had no motivational advice to give to anyone. Honestly, I needed my own motivational advice. So I thought, you know what? Why not switch it up? I do have motivational advice this week. So exciting. You all thought that I was going to say no motivational advice. If you want to give up, just give up. I did say that last week, but life goes on. So I wanted to talk about change and just things that like you might see up front, because there's like things that I'm noticing, like as, especially moving to LA, a lot of people have recently been like, oh my God, you're out there, like you're living it up. Like, and I'm like, yeah, well, there's a lot of things that comes with that for me, like that I've tackled on that I feel like even like insecurities I never even thought I had. And I think it's always interesting because life will constantly give you either past things that you've struggled with or just like in the moment things. And, obviously you're in this city. I am very, very open about my dreams, what I want, how I want it. I've been open about the fact that like it has been a challenge where like when I first got here, I had a huge vocal injury and like huge imposter syndrome as well, because I was like, well, I came here for that and I can't do it. So now what? And so, a lot of people make comments, have comments, especially like things that I've noticed is like you need to be confident in your dream, even when it's not at the top. Because for you to be at that top, you have to see it way at the bottom. Like, I think it was Drake, 0 to 100 real quick. That was a Drake song, right? But like, can we fact check that? I think I am right. It's 0 to 100 is Drake. Again, I'm a Biggie girl, but like, is 0 to 100 real quick? Like, I think, yeah, it's Drake. So like everyone sees it, and you have to be so confident in like what you want and desire, because no one's going to do that for you. If anything, you're going to have people that, obviously the people that are closest to you see you every day. And so even like they're going to support you. But even then, like you have to be the most confident and the most daring. No one's going to do that for you. And, coming here, like I'm seeing like, something I've noticed is like, when I was in Berkeley, I was surrounded by all these creatives. And everyone was at the same level in a sense. Like, yeah, there was people that were better than you, but in terms of like, you're getting the degree, you're doing all that, you're in the same classes. So when you say like, I want to be a singer, like no one's sitting there and they're like no one, or like looking at you strange. Whereas like I come here and like, everyone already expects you to be at the top, because the way I see LA is like, it's more, sometimes I see people and I meet them and it's like, what can you do for me? And like that mindset was so bizarre for me. But it's reality. And I had one challenge that I faced was owning my craft, because I have back then, I lost that sense because I wasn't able to do that. And then I had to regain that. And in that, like regaining that, I had to like find a confidence that I didn't have before. Because when you are known to be that singer, to be like, this is what you do, and then that, for a while you can't do it, it really like there's a confidence. And then on top of it, just like with personal things, like I lost a part of this confidence that I had in me that I'm learning to gain back, that I don't want someone to tell me who I am. Like, I am who I am. Like, I'm going to show you. I want to walk into a room like I've already been ordained in that room. Like, I don't want to fear anything. And part of that is, it's so funny because like people are like, oh, you're going out, blah, blah, blah. But that's like also a different type of confidence, because when I'm out, like I'm meeting so many different people, and that's opportunity after opportunity for me to own who I am. Own, this is who I am. I want to reflect myself better today than I did yesterday. And so I was explaining to like a couple people that are close to me, and I was like, like I've lost this confidence that I've had in who I am in general. Like, whether that's a physical appearance, whether that's like sometimes like I'm uncomfortable. Like, again, I'm never discreet about like, let's say religion, like so how I think in terms of certain things, like, is because of, how I was raised, or like a religious part. Like, I'm also like born like off the boat immigrant parents. So being here, like, you're brought into a new world of where you need to own that and own who you are. And I had to be okay with being uncomfortable. Like, something that I realized is when you're different, or when you have a dream or something, you're going to be uncomfortable because you're not meant to be the same. And so you need to be okay with being uncomfortable, because if you don't want to be uncomfortable, like if it's calling over comfort. And so when you go towards a calling, you're going to expect you're going to be in situations, meet people where you're uncomfortable. And something that I realized is I was so uncomfortable. Like, I'd be in rooms and I'm like, ooh, or I felt like I had to owe someone something. And like those past things that I've talked about, because I've always been like a very people pleasing person, I had to be like, no, absolutely not. And that's uncomfortable. That's so uncomfortable. How I speak, how I act, like, I'm like, someone was like, oh, you're an LA girl now. Like, I was like, do not call me that. Like, I'm a New Yorker. But like, I'm loud, I'm this, I'm that. And like, I was like constantly saying to myself, I was like, why do I feel uncomfortable? Like, that's weird. Like, I shouldn't. And then I realized, no, like, I'm going to feel uncomfortable, especially in situations that cause me to grow. You're not meant to be comfortable when you're growing. You're meant to be uncomfortable. Some people think like peace is just always like just given. Like, yes, there's a big thing of like peace, but just because you do the right thing doesn't mean it's going to be easier. You're going to feel peace sometimes. Like, it's scary. Like, change is scary. Like, owning who you are, following a dream, like, that's scary. That's uncomfortable. And so I had to really sit there and own that. And what I'm realizing is, like, I gave myself a challenge. I said, I want to be able to be okay with being uncomfortable. Because for so long I was, but now I'm at a level where I am being challenged by different people, different ages, different things, and I need to be okay with owning who I am, what I bring to the table. No one's going to do that for me. I don't want anyone to tell me that. Like, I want to own that. And so a part of that is being uncomfortable. So I was like telling like a Carson, I was like, like, he jokes around. He thinks I'm watching like Sex in the City too much. He's like, you're out in the town, like, and I was like, Carrie Bradshaw, she's on to something. Like, even like as a creative, like, I don't want to sit and just like, I don't write because I sit in my room and I'm just like I write because I live. Like, there was a period where I was abroad for like 6 months and then stayed out longer because I was like, no, I want to keep going. And like that, because of that, like, because of those experiences, I was able to write songs, things that like relationships, I'm able to write because of those things. And sometimes like my writing is reflected with the experiences that I have. And when I moved here, it was a lot of adjusting, but I was like, I don't want to like conform. I want to be me and own that. And I've learned that being in LA, I've had challenges where like I've been just so like uncomfortable. And I don't want that. I want to like own that uncomfortableness. I want to own that calling no matter where I am. And so that's just something that I felt like I wanted to share, because I was like, I think a lot of people, change is scary, all these things. And they just think, you only see the finish line with some people, and that's not reality. And I wanted to really emphasize that, because it's so easy. You go on TikTok, social media, everyone's like, I became a billionaire in a day. Like, absolutely not. Like, if you have, God bless, you're doing great. That's your change. That's your own calling. But it takes time. And I've said this in the past, like, there's such a beauty to time. There's so much. Like, I went into 2024, it being literally the worst year. Like, ask Carson, I was like, this has to be, I think I could only name one more year in my life that I was like, I hate this year. Like, this is, and I went into 2024, like, this is, and 2023 was the best year of my life. Top like 3. I have like 2 more years, but like top 3 that I was like, I love this year. 2024 was the worst starting off. I went through so much, and so much emotion, so much just like feeling and change, and honestly like realization. And then I started to see this transition through time, where I started seeing that even though I was uncomfortable, like, there was still beauty in that, and things were coming along the way they needed to because of time. And so that was something I needed to understand. Like, change takes time. Change is not just going to happen, and you have to keep pushing and pushing past. Because if I just said, you know what, I'm going to sit here because I'm uncomfortable, I'm never going to meet the people. If I just settled for like, no, I'm going to do this, I'm just going to stick to this, I would have never met the people I met, done the things that I've done, experienced the conversations I've experienced. Like, that's something that I hold so valuable to me. And it takes being uncomfortable to do that, because there's even been times where I didn't want to go out, or like I didn't want to talk to someone because I felt uncomfortable in a situation. And then I realized like it was like the most genuine conversation I've had with someone. And knowing me, this is another thing that's so interesting, is I am social. I am a freaking social butterfly. I talk to anyone, anything. I don't care. And I don't ask you like, what's your favorite color? Like, I'm going to ask you like, what makes you stay up at night? Like, what are your thoughts at night? Like, I'm going to ask you the craziest questions, because I want to know who you are. But coming to LA, like being around certain people, I'm like, sometimes I find myself being shy, and I'm like, that's not me. Hold up. And I had to like push past that, because things happen, people change, but there's a beauty. Like, don't always change for the better, not for the worse. Like, don't hide yourself because you're uncomfortable. If anything, show yourself. There's a huge difference. Like, it's the same thing when I say wasting time and patience. Huge difference between those two things. But there's a beauty with patience, and there's also a downfall with wasting your time. So you have to really, I had to sit there and be like, what is it that makes me uncomfortable? And is it something that's going to better me or make it worse? Is it rational, or is it like a fear that I have that I need to get over? And so that was things that I was doing. I was like, you know what makes me uncomfortable sometimes is, being here and owning my craft to strangers. So I'm like, yeah, I want to be a singer. Look me up. Come on. Like, cause a part of me felt like how can I claim that right now when I can't, I haven't, been as active as I was back in Boston or back in the East Coast, because I couldn't sing, I wasn't releasing, I wasn't doing, and like, I felt like back to like this like hermit. And now I'm like, absolutely not. This is who I am. Like, things happen. You keep going. Time. It takes time. And a lot of people are also going to expect this like tremendous like rising right away. It takes time. Me and Carson always have different versions of this name, but Chappell Roan, she's someone that I saw.
An honest mistake.
He says Chappell. In the comments, tell me who you thought was right. I say Chappell.
Chappell. I agree with you.
Okay.
And I was like, I agree.
She don't look like a Chappell. She's from the West. Midwest.
With no information.
We are fighting on camera, Carson. This is embarrassing.
You're just like, oh, we're in a disagreement.
Well, we're not in a disagreement now, but I was like, so I got this TikTok and from like a really close friend, and she was like, just like a reminder. And like, I watched this video and I was like, oh my gosh, the respect of, I want her to win Best Upcoming Artist for the Grammys. Like, that's my vote. I love Sabrina. I think she's doing great. But, like, that is... And I love Tate McRae. She didn't even get nominated. But, like, love Tate McRae. I loved her before she was even, like, big. But... seeing Chappell's story is just another inspiration of like, that girl did not freaking give up, and it took her 10 years. First of all, I thought she was my age. She's 26, I think, or 27, and it took her 10 years. And the events of how her career went down was wild. And then if you look at it, like, girl had to move back home because she was literally broke and like was pursuing this dream that people were like, oh, you're at the bottom now. Like, you shouldn't even try. Like, you're rock bottom. And girl said, no, I'm gonna keep going. But she did things that were like seen as like, oh, giving up, or like, oh, you should just give up now. And if she listened, she wouldn't be here right now. She wouldn't be freaking in Coachella opening for opening in Coachella. But there's no opener. I keep like,
It is a festival.
it's a festival. There's no opener. But she wouldn't be playing in Coachella. She wouldn't be nominated for the Grammys. And I sit there and I'm like, I have to remind myself that change, it's like, that girl too was going through things like that. You know, she did Breaking Sound last year. Freaking wild. I did Breaking Sound. Like, so
Andy goes, who is that?
I need you to look her up. She's phenomenal. Next artist that you need to
Mouthing to Carson, what the fuck is Breaking Sound?
Breaking Sound. Breaking Sound. We had it in Boston. I played it. Oh, it doesn't matter. You go look me up. So anyway, anyways, like, I have to remind myself it takes time, because I also, like, I've been open about this. Like, I have anxiety sometimes that I'm not doing enough. And I'm like, I have to remind myself, take it day by day. What do I need to do today? Like, and I have to tell myself that. So this is your lesson, that change takes time. Change takes time. It's uncomfortable. You're going to be, if you want to grow as a person, you better freaking understand that you're going to feel uncomfortable, especially with people who do not understand you or are you, period. Because even the closest people in your circle still are not you. And that goes back to, you need to make sure God's voice is the loudest in a room, because no one else is going to know your plan like him and you. That's it. You don't even freaking know your own plan. So like, at that point, like, you need to trust. And so own the uncomfortableness, own that, and look at how that's going to grow you, because it's calling over comfort. So thank you for my motivational talks with T. If you would like to know more and you are someone that I care about, also have my number, please reach out to me personally. If you don't have my number, that's okay. I talk to everyone. DM me. I can't text me, but you can DM me, message me on any social platform. You can even comment under this video. But I am an open book. I will answer every comment, every talk, every DM. I've done that. Every text. I'm here. I'm social. But thank you guys so much for listening. Go be uncomfortable and own it.